Hi guys, welcome back to Data Every Day. Today we're looking at a data set of patients in a hospital. So these are all different patients, and some of them are outpatients and some are inpatients, and that's what we're going to be trying to predict based on these medical features here. So you can see all of the features here. They're all continuous, every one of them except the sex column, which is nominal, but it's a binary feature. There's just two values, so it shouldn't be a problem. Then we're going to be trying to predict this binary classification task. Here we're trying to predict the source column based on the other features. So let's hop into the notebook. We're going to use NumPy and Pandas for working with the data. For pre-processing, we'll use the train test split function and standard scalar. And I'll train a bunch of models on the data, which will be a logistic regression, decision tree, neural network, and then two ensemble methods, which will be a random forest and gradient boosting. So let's go ahead and import all of that. I'm going to use accuracy score and F1 score to evaluate the model's performances. So let's load in the data using pandas.readcsv, and we can get the CSV file path up here. Just copy it in, and we can take a look. Alright, so we know it's all continuous. The only thing we have to worry about is the sex column. So we're going to start, I guess we could look at data.info first. And you can see there's actually no missing values, so it's fairly clean data. We'll start pre-processing here. I'm going to create a function called pre-process inputs. It's going to take in a data frame. It's going to create a copy of the data frame, and then we're going to start pre-processing. So the first thing we want to do is deal with this column here. What I'm going to do is just map female to 0 and male to 1. Now this order doesn't matter. Just as long as we map them each to separate values. As long as we're scaling, it doesn't even matter which values that is. We just pick 0 and 1 because it's easiest to interpret. Alright, so binary encoding. We're going to take the sex column and set it equal to itself with the replace function called on it, where we pass in a dictionary that has the mapping we'd like. So we're going to map F to 0 and M to 1. And then I think that's pretty much it for pre-processing. If we return df now and get it back, we'll store the result in x. We're going to call our function and pass in the data. Yeah, so you can see we now have zeros and ones in here. And we don't have to encode this output column because sklearn models allow for string labels. So all the rest is numeric. However, all the columns take on different ranges of values. So before we train the models, we're going to scale each column so that every column has the same range of values. Now I want to scale using a standard scalar, just my personal choice. If I were really trying to optimize these models, I'd definitely try out different scalars, see which works the best. But here I'll use a standard scalar, which will shift and scale each column so that every column has a mean of 0 and a variance of 1. We'll fit the scalar to xtrain, which we actually haven't created yet, so let's go and do that. We'll split the data frame into x and y, where y is our target column, that's source, and x is all the rest of the data. So we'll go ahead and drop source from axis 1 to get our x and y. Then we'll do our train test split, and that will give us xtrain, xtest, ytrain, and ytest. And we'll use the train test split function from sklearn, where we'll pass in x and y, specify a train size of 70%. So 70% of the data is going to the train set, the other 30% is going to the test set. Shuffle equals true, so that'll shuffle the data before it makes the split. And a random state will ensure that the shuffle is always done in the same way. Okay, now that we have our 4 sets of data, we're going to fit the scalar just to the train set because we want to pretend we don't have access to the test set when we're doing the pre-processing. Then what we're going to do is transform both xtrain and xtest using scalar.transform. However, scalar.transform actually returns a NumPy array, so I'm going to turn it back into a pandas data frame afterwards, keeping the indices the same as they were, and the column names the same as they were. Then we'll copy this over, and I'll just do the same exact thing for xtest. Alright, and we'll return these 4 sets of data down here. So we did all of the pre-processing without even really looking at the data. So let's see what we have now. There wasn't much to do though. Okay, here's xtrain. So all the columns have the same range of values now, and everything's been encoded into numeric data. Now ytrain is our labels, and I'd like to look at the class distribution here. Value counts will show us that. And you can see we have a few more outpatients than inpatients, so I think it's like a 60-40 split if you look back at this here. Yeah, 60-40. And I guess we'll start training now. So if I was going to optimize the models, I might try to do some rebalancing of the classes to get a more even distribution there. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'm just going to paste in this dictionary that has all the models we're going to train. And it's a dictionary that maps the name of the model to the actual instance that we're going to fit. And the reason I do this is because now we can iterate through for name and model in models.items. And the items function here will just return the key value pairs as tuples, so we can iterate through 2 at a time like that. And each time we'll fit on the train set, and we'll print out a little message that has the name of the model followed by a confirmation message that said it was trained. Before I run this, I actually want to go up to the top, import warnings, and type warnings.filter warnings action equals ignore. And the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes you'll get a convergence warning if the model is failing to converge. Oh, we should pass in ytrain here as well. So I just didn't want those warnings to muck up the notebook. Okay, and then once that's finished training, we'll get the results over here. So for results, I'm going to iterate through again for name and model in models.items. So this is where we're going to compare the results of each model. I want to get the accuracy score and the F1 score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate some predictions with model.predict, and this is for any model. We'll just predict on the test set, and that'll be ypred. Then let's first do accuracy. So we'll get the accuracy score using the accuracy score function from sklearn, where we'll pass in the true values and the predicted values, and we'll print it out. So we're going to put the name of the model followed by accuracy, and we'll display it to 2 decimal places as a percentage. So I'll format here with acc times 100. Alright, and you can see, so based on accuracy, it looks like the neural network is doing the best and the decision tree is doing the worst. However, the F1 score should be more informative because we do have a bit of a class imbalance. So we're going to copy this over, and I'm just going to change acc to F1, and we're going to use the F1 score function. Here I'm going to specify a positive label, which will be the inpatient label. So this is just, we're getting the F1 score for the minority class here, the inpatient class. And we'll change this one to F1 score. I'll display this to 5 decimal places, not as a percentage, so let's change this into just F1. Alright, there it is. So neural network does seem to be outperforming the others in this case. The F1 score and the accuracy are both higher here. And I'm just trying to look to see if we ever have an F1 score that's high where an accuracy is low. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like the rank is the same between them. Yeah, okay, but that will sum today's video. So it's a bit of a short one, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more content, and leave any comments you have in the section below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.